Welcome to Wine and
Cheese
with Jeff Weissler and
Beverly McKenzie.
Nice to see you, Beverly, and you.
Oh, what do we have here? This is a divergent wine for us.
Yeah, we went to something that's Zinfandel-like. Actually, it says Zinfandel here, so this is actually a Zinfandel. From Porter Bass Vineyards from the Russian River Valley in California. And they farm biodynamically, amongst other things. One of my favorite things about Porter Bass, Luke and Elena, his wife, and their family, is that you drive a road for about 10 minutes and you drive through the forest.
Okay.
And then you come out into this opening, and that's where their vineyard is.
Oh, that sounds great. It just kind of like unveils itself after you go through this forest.
Exactly.
Nice.
75% of the land they own there is forest land.
Okay.
So there's really a beautiful sense of biodiversity and how this particular land is being farmed and nurtured and taken care of in a way so it's part of the whole, which is one of the big things with conscious wine that we're all about.
That's right.
What I love about their wines is that each time I've tasted their wines, they really unwind. There's a real sense of mystery. So what you get when you first open the bottle is often very different than later.
Okay.
As Zinfandel goes, Zinfandel is a grape varietal, traditionally tends to be big fruit.
Brawny.
Really intense.
Yeah.
This one still has that 15% alcohol, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 15 too.
Not shy.
Not shy. And still has a lot of that bigness, but it's much more restrained. And it has a lot of other flavor elements going on. So let's just give this a taste and smell and see what's going on.
Yeah, in addition to some fruit, I smelled a little bit of, not roasted meat, but a little savoriness in addition to the fruit, which is nice for me. It's a counterbalance to Zin, because for me it can always have way more fruit than I want, that I can typically want to pair with food. I need some acid, some savory. And this has that, which is delightful.
Great. It still has big raspberry, lots of big raspberry, lots of really nice flavor like that. But then there's a whole element, a different earthier element, or very different element that comes in towards the finish, and it leaves me with a very, very juicy quality. So that juiciness in the mouth is a really great thing from a wine and food standpoint, because that's where you're starting to salivate. And that means actually that enzymes are starting to come out that are going to break down the foods that we're about to bring to it, because what if, we like to say in conscious wine lingo, wine was just an ingredient that is made to be part of a dish.
It's only part of a whole.
So,
well, good thing we brought this cheese along. So this is, because we are in Southern Oregon as we speak, and this is made by one of our local creameries, Rogue Creamery. And this is their entry-level, like we're talking about wine, this is their entry-level blue cheese. It's super mild, they're Oregon blue. But a great little story about how Rogue Creamery came to where it is. It's always been this artisanal cheese group. It's very different when it started in 1930, I believe it was, by Tom Vella. And he came up from Sonoma, and he had this vision to make great cheese. And he spent decades, made it through the Depression, come out of the Depression and make all these great cheeses. And the family inherited it. And then around, I don't know, maybe about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, the family had it for sale because Tom, eventually passed away, regrettably. And these two great guys, Tom Bradley and David Grimmel, stumbled upon it. They're a real estate agent, because they were looking to make find a place where they could make chocolate. They were looking for a great way. Why not? A creamery, already dealing with cream and things like that. You can make this into a chocolatier place. And so they show up, and they told him exactly what they wanted to do, and the family's like, no, you want to be making cheese. And this is the story I got, is that they donned them in the cheese making garb, put little hats on them, put little booties on them, and immediately started showing them how to make cheese. And they said, okay, this seems great. And so there's this great story of, we have a sense of place. They use local cows, and they make fabulous, actually world-renowned blue cheese right out of Southern Oregon.
Fantastic sustainable approach to what they're doing also. They really honor the idea of making authentic products and products with soul. And in Southern Oregon, they're actually in the town of Central Point. They are they're a destination for many a tourist and for many a local.
And they work with other businesses too. 2 doors down, it is actually now a chocolatier called Lily Bell Chocolates. And they make a Rogue Blue truffle. Have you had this?
No.
It's the
maybe.
I actually don't recall if it's the Oregon Blue or the Crater Lake Blue. That's the center of the truffle. That's the filling, and then it's robed in chocolate.
Actually, I don't think I've had that one yet.
We're going to do a show on that one of these days.
Okay, so after here, how long is it? Half-hour drive over there?
Half-hour drive, we're going. So let's try the cheese now, so we can get
Okay.
a sense of it.
Sure. So the first thing in blue always is that strong aromatic. You know, it really comes at you with strength and power. So one of the things about Zin right out of the gate is it's about focus, strength, and power. One of the big things immediately with this is there's a sense of focus, strength, and power.
Yeah.
That comes out from the aroma.
What I find delightful about this blue cheese is sometimes you get these blue cheeses and there's so much high acid in them that they kind of really penetrate your nostrils and almost start to make you weep a little bit. This one has a really pleasant floral acidity on the nose.
Yeah.
It's delicate on the palate. This is
Yeah.
their sweeter, less aged one that they make, so it's very approachable for anyone that's looking to even just start with blue cheese if they haven't ventured into it.
It's great. It has a lot of the qualities that I associate with blue cheese without being, you know, over the top.
It's not aggressive.
It's not aggressive, right? So, you know, port is another beverage, is a wine that's great with certain types of blue cheese and stuff. This is more toned down. This is a little more toned down, and I think it's going to go great with this.
It's fabulous with them.
So,
Ooh.
wow, that's interesting.
Now I'm getting more plum and like stuffed grape leaves.
Yeah. So one of the things about this wine, and one of the things I love about Portabas is they are literally, this is the changeling. These wines just keep changing and changing and changing. It's one of the beautiful things about natural wine. It's one of the beautiful things about aging wine. You know, is that when you open a wine up, it just keeps unfolding.
Yeah.
And my favorite analogy with natural wine is when we wake up in the morning, we want to drink some water and stretch and go outside. And those first few things we do in the morning, we just feel great as we go through that process.
Classic routine.
And then we wake up. Same thing with natural wine. It's not when you pull the cork, that greatness,
Yeah, it's
or
like
that
this.
or that full expression is not there on the first sip. Right. The wine's like, you know, it wakes up, and then it comes into its own. And this wine, just from this little bit of time we've had it open here, is already kind of changing and doing its
its little
dance. Okay, so
You know, I got watermelon. It's different every
I
time
totally
you
just
do it.
smell that too. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
We're such wine geeks.
No, I think it speaks for the wine. The wine is talking to us. You know, it's not just great. It's just a bottle of wine. It's totally,
That's exactly it. So it's talking. You know, it's like this wine is talking to us. It's offering us all these different flavors, all these different expressions, and it keeps changing. So it doesn't matter if we know the words, if we know the lingo. Forget all that. What matters is just to go in and smell it, to have the experience of smell it, taste it, see how it makes you feel, see what comes up for you, see what the experience is. You know, and in this mode, it's changing. There's a delightful opportunity in this, in that in smelling it and tasting it, it just keeps changing. It's just like watching something in motion.
And this finish
watching
is
something in motion.
It's not dying down. It's lingering. It's hanging out. I'm finding the finish is evolving as well with multiple flavors. So it gives it that extra. It doesn't end just in the smell. It doesn't end just in the mid palate taste. It keeps going, and it's that lingering finish that makes it really interesting to go back to food.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
no
so
question.
I'm doing it.
I'm going to say too that this particular cheese, when I went back and tasted this wine, the whole mid palate in the wine, the whole central flavor in the wine just expanded out. The texture just really expanded out, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and became much more lush than it was on its own. It really offered a quite surprising result for me.
Textural.
That's just beautiful. So,
Well, I think we should go off and finish the bottle of this wine.
yeah, I'm game, and blue cheese is.
That
blue
cheese is
the
great
deal.
because the finish on that's too.
So-
All right, ciao.
Mm.